right now. And
Yes.
we saw it last night against the San Francisco 49ers. In Glendale, as a matter of fact, at State Farm Stadium.
Yes, at State Farm Stadium, home of the Arizona Cardinals. My bad. I have to say the Seahawks. Losing to the Giants, it's hard not to give the Seattle Seahawks, the type of team that they are, the best team in the toughest division in the NFL. It was the Seahawks going down against the Giants.
Well, my bad and ugly is going to come from two games from the same game in Green Bay. The Philadelphia Eagles, they're horrendous. They're awful, and it's a shame that they're still in contention in the NFC East. They go to Green Bay. Were it not for Jalen Reagor 73-yard punt return toward the end, that game was completely out of hand, Joe. It was 23-3 in the fourth quarter. Then Jalen Hurts comes in for Carson Wentz. That's going to be part of my ugly. That's going to be like a tease for my ugly. But the Philadelphia Eagles at 3-8-1, they stink up the joint in Green Bay, Wisconsin, in your building at Lambeau Field, and they're still in contention. That's a bad that the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't know what's going to happen after this season. Is Carson? Are they going to lose Doug Peterson? Are they going to fire him? Or are they going to fire Howie Roseman, their general manager? But things are not good in Philadelphia. It's really bad in Philadelphia, and that's one of my bads. Another bad would be the New York Jets. That's going to be part of my ugly as well, another precursor. But a bad is the New York Jets coming oh so close, Johanna, to their first win of the season, but they couldn't get it because of a stupid formation that their former defensive coordinator, Greg Williams, called a cover zero, which helped them lose the game with Derek Carr throwing a long touchdown pass to Henry Ruggs III against a rookie cornerback. And that helped the New York Jets go to 0-12. But that's my bad, which is going to lead to the ugly.
Jets.
Yep.
That's just, I don't know if you would call that bad. That's just plain out and horrendous.
Oh, the ugly is coming from that game. It's coming.
Ugh, but
yep.
I don't even think it counts as ugly. But anyway,
is there a sub category worse than ugly?
Horrendous.
Okay, let's do good, bad, ugly, and horrendous now.
Or just unmentionable.
Yeah, or good, bad. Just do good, bad, and horrendous. Just skip ugly and just go off the cliff. Right?
Go off the cliff. Yes. That's going to be a hard fall.
Straight off the cliff.
Brace yourself for landing.
Yep. For a crash landing.
Real hard crash landing for sure. But my ugly, I just have to give it to the Cardinals. There's no doubt about that. I don't know that I have any more words left to even describe for my ugly being the roast that, we had earlier in the show at the beginning of the show. So I don't think there's anything left there to say. Cardinals borderline of falling out of a playoff contention. That's my ugly.
All right. I think I've got three uglies. I would put the Cardinals in there as well. It was a division game, a team you're fighting with for the division title potentially and a playoff spot potentially. And you go out there in your own building and you lay a complete egg in the first half. And the second half was good. Offensively, they scored 21 points in the second half. But you cannot continue to trade score for score with them, Joe. The Rams, every time the Rams will score, the Cardinals will score. Then they just go back and forth. The first half was awful. And then you buried yourself. And then it's just Kyler Murray wasn't good. All of his weapons were covered. You missed Larry Fitzgerald. You couldn't run the ball. Jared Goff had 351 yards. Their defense is outstanding. Again, a championship caliber defense by the way they looked yesterday. And from a statistical standpoint, they are. The Rams are an outstanding football team at 8-4. They are a legitimate threat to win the division and potentially go deep into the playoffs. So that would be one of my three uglies, the Cardinals losing that game and falling to 6-6, losing 4 out of 5 games since the bye week. And things are just in complete spiral. Things are spiraling out of control for the Arizona Cardinals. That's ugly number one. My ugly number two, I'm looking right at it. Carson Wentz, 6 of 15 for 79 yards. You get benched. Jalen Hurts comes in, plays better than you. 5 of 12. Well, it's 5 of 12, about 50%, 109 yards. At least he showed some life offensively for the Philadelphia Eagles. Took him down there on that scoring drive, a 9-play, 73-yard scoring drive, something that Carson Wentz could not do on Sunday against your Green Bay Packers. That's a complete ugly. I don't know what in the world is going on with Carson Wentz, but they paid him too much money, Joe, for him to have these kind of performances and have his football team at 3-8-1. That's ugly number 2.
Before you go to your ugly number 3, I want to ask you, do you think that Wentz, he got benched, of course, and do you think that he probably will be out maybe 1 or 2 games due to the fact of yesterday's game and that outcome?
I don't even think Doug Peterson knows what he wants to do, whether he wants to roll out Jalen Hurts. Should he? It's hard to sell that to a Philadelphia fan base that looks at Carson Wentz and his salary and says, okay, you want to put a guy that's making that signed a $100+ million contract. You want to bench him for a rookie quarterback, even though Jalen Hurts, clearly he's unproven because he's a rookie. At least Carson Wentz has some experience, but the experience lately this season has been horrific for the Philadelphia Eagles. So it's like, what does Doug Peterson do?
But didn't we really kind of see that with Andrew Luck, though, recently?
Yes.
Just a thought.
I don't know. What does he do? You're still in the thick of an NFC East chase. Do you want to chance it and throw Jalen Hurts out there, a rookie, to see what he can do potentially?
He's putting out better numbers than your starter. Maybe it's worth a shot. Maybe you could come out and have a better chance of winning and turning that a little bit around. Not that you have the best record in the NFL or anything, but given the circumstances.
The Dolphins did it when they benched Ryan Fitzpatrick for Tua Tagovailoa.
There you go.
Same kind of situation, even though Ryan's not making the same money that Carson Wentz is. It always comes down to money. They look at that Carson Wentz contract, that extension that he signed back in 2019, and they say, okay, let me get this straight. So the Eagles are paying him how much $100+ million they're going to give him, but they're going to bench him for Jalen Hurts. So that's just money sitting on the sidelines.
But do you want to win?
Do you want to win, or are you concerned about Carson Wentz's salary? You want to win.
Exactly.
That's a tough decision for Peterson. I don't envy him right now. And the third ugly would again come from MetLife Stadium on Sunday, the scene of an epic collapse by the New York Jets when they had a chance again to get their first victory of the season, Joe. But former defensive coordinator Greg Williams decides to pull a cover zero and put rookie cornerback Lamar Jackson, not that Lamar in Baltimore, but the other Lamar Jackson, up against one of the fastest, if not the fastest, wide receiver in the league outside of Tyreek Hill and Henry Ruggs III. You want to put a rookie cornerback against Henry Ruggs with no safety help over the top, and Derek Carr just throws an absolute strike to Henry Ruggs, and that's the way the New York Jets lose the game because Greg Williams says, okay, I'm going to do it this way. And Adam Gase did not have the gumption. He did not have the gall to call a timeout when he was second-guessing himself on not calling the timeout, Joe, because he said, I trusted Greg Williams. That's why I hired him, because I trust him to run the defense. But if you did not trust him to run that play, if you did not like that cover zero, he should have called a timeout. He had a timeout. He should have called it. And that's why they're at 0-12 right now. Does anybody? No, nobody with the Jets has an answer for it. You and I don't have an answer for it. You throw your hands up. They could have been 1-11, Joe, if it were not for that stupid play call, for that stupid formation that Greg Williams, which cost him his job, clearly, that he called.
He still would have had a job, possibly, more than likely.
If they won the game, if he did not call the cover zero, yes.
If you won the game,
yes. Whether he would have had it 4 weeks from now, like Adam Gase, which he probably won't. Whether both of those guys would lose their job, it's potentially, it's a potential, but he just lost his job 4 weeks earlier.
Well, let's get out of the ugliness and get into a little excitement. How does that sound?
Good. All right.
So as we near the playoffs, and we kind of touched on it as we moved along the show, but we have here Kansas City Chiefs are already one of those that have clinched a spot. We have Pittsburgh that's still number one in the American League. That's still, they have the 11-1, but they're still, just waiting for their ticket to clinch that spot. We have Buffalo Bills. We know that, there's no question about that unless some funkiness happens in the next few games that are left, for them to drop, but I don't see that. I don't think that's even going to happen.
And Joe, they've got a hard charging Miami Dolphins team right behind them. They're a half game behind the Buffalo Bills, which shows how important last night's game against the 49ers truly was.
Indeed. We have the Browns in there as well. We mentioned it. They're going in the first time in since when are the Browns in the playoffs? Was it
2007? First time in 13 years?
Something like that.
Yeah.
I think so. We have right there on the cusp is you have the Miami Dolphins. We have the Colts. I don't know how, what's going to happen there. And then we have the Raiders, Las Vegas Raiders. So
yes,
hand in hand. So we'll see how, as the wins and losses come about in the next few weeks, how that's going to turn out.
I think all those teams that you mentioned could all make the playoffs. It depends on what Baltimore does over their last 5 games. If they can turn this thing around, I know Lamar Jackson is actually going to play tonight against the Dallas Cowboys, and we'll see what Lamar Jackson, if he can have an impact coming off the whole COVID situation with him, and what the Ravens are actually going to look like tonight against the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, see what the outcome is. They're playing now, so what that outcome is at the end of it, and that may have a little bit of a shift there. We have New Orleans Saints. They're already have their ticket in. Green Bay Packers, right? On second place. We have the Rams, the Giants. I'm still scratching my head on that one, but okay. Seattle Seahawks, no doubt about it.
Somebody's got to win the division, Joe. It's either the Giants or Washington, but one of those teams has got to win this thing.
I know. We have
and host a playoff game, by the way.
I don't know how I feel about that, but okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Of course, no doubt about it. We have Seattle Seahawks, Tampa Bay. They're just, right there, teeter-tottering. They have to keep on, win the next few games, because if they keep on losing, they'll definitely drop off that contention. If we have the other teams winning, such as Minnesota Vikings, San Francisco, Arizona Cardinals. I'm having baseball withdrawals. Arizona Cardinals, we don't know what's going to happen. Minnesota and Arizona are right there. So, they're both 6-6 teams, both 500 teams as well. So it's just very, very close.
It is. So I see either the Giants or Washington winning the NFC East. They're only going to get one team in the playoffs. You see Green Bay, potentially Minnesota making it, depending on how they played the rest of the season. That will be 3 teams. If New Orleans and Tampa Bay both make it in, that's 5. Then that would be potentially, hopefully, with the Cardinals, that would be 3 teams from the NFC West. Those will be the 8 teams, and the Cardinals would sneak into the playoffs. But they have to get off this schneid, Joe, and play well over the next 4 games, starting with the New York Giants on Sunday.
What's the possibility of that happening? Just for the Cardinals to turn this thing around.
Defense has got to play better. Special teams is a major question mark. Cliff Kingsbury has got to find a way to get Kyler Murray back to where he was before the bye week, when he was also an MVP contention. Because right now, that kid is he's reeling right now. He's regressing.
Yeah, they have.
And again, that's also because teams have figured out Kyler Murray and how to defend against them, and that's not his fault. That's just good teams doing their homework.
Oh, exactly. And as the first half of the season was, they were winning, they were losing, they were winning, they were losing. Now it's 3 back-to-back losses. Seattle, New England, LA Rams. They go. You mentioned that they go on to face New York Giants. Question mark there. Philadelphia. That should be a win. But
that should be a win.
We're seeing out of the Cardinals and their special teams and their defense, we're probably going to see two teams that are, at equal level right there.
And do we see Jalen Hurts in that game? Would he be starting that game in a couple of weeks? Possibly. They saw Tua when Miami came here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So there's a lot of question mark there. We have San Francisco, division team. That should be a win, but again,
it's a division opponent.
It's a division opponent. And what do we see each time that they face off each other?
A slugfest.
Exactly.
And the 49ers play well here, just like the Seahawks do.
Exactly.
Yes.
So we'll see how that's another question mark. and then they go back to playing in LA Rams again, another division team.